Hi, I'm Ember, one of the co-directors of the North Country Comic Con. We started these shows to give you a little taste of some of the amazing things coming to Watertown this summer. Recently, I sat down with featured guest Forrest Valkai to discuss some of what keeps him going, and perhaps a little bit of what we can expect to see this June in Watertown. I generally go with a how did you get started? In your case, it's a little bit different because you clearly have a huge enthusiasm for science and an intense love of animals. So I'm kind of wondering which came first and did it lead to the other?
I didn't realize that an intense love of animals was like a key part of a love for science. Like animals are a gateway drug to science. And so when I was a kid, I loved watching like Jeff Corwin and Steve Irwin and all them. And I wanted to be those guys so badly. I would go around my neighborhood and like catch stray cats and lizards and whatnot and like just teach nobody about that. I'd sit there as if there was a camera, like, look at this amazing toad. And like, and I didn't realize that what I was doing was being excited about like their anatomy, their physiology, and also their ecology, like what they were doing in the neighborhood around me, why they were living there and what they were eating and how they were surviving. That was what was so much fun to think about. It was just so much. The only thing more fun than learning about those was then teaching them to other people. Like that's the best thing in the world. The only thing better than learning science is just sharing it with everybody, getting everybody else excited. So I don't know, man. They kind of happen at the same time.
Yeah, that makes sense. It also draws into that educator component, which an interesting thing I'm noticing amongst many of the guests is there's this, the main thing that excites them is being able to share what inspires them with everybody else. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, that's one of the coolest things about conventions, whether they're Comic Cons or VidCons or what have you, is the whole point is a celebration of creativity and the inspiration that it causes in others. So it's very neat. So my normal next question is what is it that keeps you excited, keeps you going? You kind of already touched on that. I
Mhm.
guess what is it about it that keeps you excited enough to stick with doing YouTube channel, TikToks, and the theses, and trying to do everything? Like, where does all that
Yeah.
energy come from?
I don't know. I'm just an excitable guy. I've got a little neutron star burning in me, and I just always want to be going. Like I can't help it. I've never known how to sit down. Every single time I sit still for too long, there's a fire under my butt, something in me just telling me you got to get up, you got to work, you got to work. There's more to do. I've got like average human lifespans like maybe what 80 years or so in this country. I just turned 30, so like I've got almost half of my time used up, and I've got a whole bunch of stuff left to work on. Like I got to keep going. I can't have time to sit down, and so I give 100% to school, and I give 100% to work, and I give 100% to YouTube, and I give 100% to my family. I give 100% to everybody, and when it comes to like what keeps me going and what makes me want to keep doing it, I see the impact that it has, and I see how many other people are becoming as happy and as excited as I am. The goal isn't just to teach science, it's to teach people to love science and also love themselves and also love each other. I genuinely think that education, especially science education, is absolutely instrumental to building a healthy society and to making human life and human progress as great as it can possibly be. And so if I can be some small part of that, I really don't like lab work. So the next best thing is making as many more scientists as I can possibly make so that they go out and put in the hard work and send us into space and make us a galactic civilization. And I'll be over there being like, yeah! And that'll be my role in the whole situation.
Yeah, building a better future is it's sort of my goal as well. It's
Absolutely.
there's so much room for, well, I mean, there of course there's room for improvement, but I can't help but the way you just said galactic civilization brought me right back to your short about free Mars.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the thing is, dude, we got this whole freaking solar system sitting here doing nothing. You want to talk about Mercury? What's Mercury doing for anybody? Tiny little planet, doesn't even do what you think it is. Not even the hottest planet in the solar system because Venus has got that atmosphere going on for it. It's just sitting there, a big ball of very useful metal doing nothing. Do you know there are ice caps on Mercury? I don't know if you want to put this in your interview, but I'm going to tell you about it regardless. You know there are ice caps on Mercury. They're in the craters around the poles. There are parts of this planet that never, ever, ever see any sunlight whatsoever. So it is ice freaking cold in there. You know what you could do there? You could build a camp. You could build a little place, a little mining operation, and you could mine the metal from Mercury because nobody's using it anyway. It's just sitting there. But the thing is, like, you talk about like being a spacefaring civilization. You talk about going out into the universe and like exploring the worlds around us, right? You need energy for that. And everyone's like, oh, you got some sort of like a Dyson sphere, some super civilization with a Dyson sphere. How the hell are you going to get enough material to build a sphere around a star when the star is a million times bigger than your planet? Where are you going to get the stuff on the planet to build the thing around the star? No, what you do is you build a Dyson swarm, a whole bunch of little solar panels that orbit the sun, and you get that energy back to Earth. I don't know how you do that. You figure that out. There's a lot of better engineers and physicists out there that know how to do that, but you do that. And if you wanted to, where's the best place to build one? How about right next to the sun? You set up a mining operation on Mercury, and you build you dig up the stuff, and you build the first solar panel, and you put it right there next door to just shove it. You get a little push, it'll go right there to the sun, and then you have enough energy from that to build 50 more mining operations, and you do it again, exponential growth over and over and over until you mine Mercury into non-existence. It's not doing anything. It's just there waiting to be utilized. We do the thing that our species does best, and we go to a new place and we wreck it for resources. That's what we've done all over the earth, only there's nothing up there for us to commit genocide against. So we just do it there guiltlessly. And then we build the Dyson swarm from it, and then we take that energy, we send it back to Earth. And what do? Number one, we clean up our atmosphere. We clean up the environment, the atmosphere, we make sure that we stop climate change, make this planet habitable for our great-great-grandchildren. If we have that technology, which we will at that time, we then do the same thing to Venus, and look at that. You got another Earth-side planet. And don't worry about the fact that it spins real slow. Doesn't matter. It's going to spin as slow as it needs to. We have the technology. The amount of energy from this, man, would be like comparing like advanced like nuclear power plants to rubbing stupid sticks together in the wilderness 3 million years ago. We have so much energy to revolutionize the atmosphere here and also on the other planets, and also like invest in biomedical technology to the point where not being able to run a marathon on your 300th birthday is considered like a severe disability. And then with that now technology, we then spread out across the solar system and find new worlds to explore and new rights to achieve and new civilizations, new everything. That's how we do it with the planets that are just freaking sitting there doing nothing instead of arguing over who owns what river here on this stinking rock, begging for scraps like filthy animals. We go there and we do that, and then we expand, and it'll be wonderful. And then comes the war of planetary independence that I talked about in that short. That's when we fight for Martian independence. And that is when the revolution happens. There's a sequence between y'all. I have a real plan. And there's a sequence between then and now. And I skipped a bunch of steps with that. You know, nobody wants to talk to me about freaking interplanetary exploration.
We really could, though. Like, you know, we look at the moon. Granted, I don't like the idea of messing up the moon because it's very pretty, but on the other hand, it's a dead rock made of resources, and it's full of aluminum oxide. Like,
yeah,
in lunar gravity, aluminum is more than strong enough to build shelters out of, and you take the oxygen out of the aluminum, and now you can breathe. It's like made to be a moon base. I don't know.
What I'm saying is, like, if you have something like that, especially if you could set up shop on Mars, like those ice caps and everything like there, you now have a gas station. You know what I mean? You have a place where you can like hop to and then scoot on to the other half of the freaking solar system. You have a little hub, so you don't have to worry about building some mega super insane ship here on the planet Earth. You just whoop over to Mars, and then that's where you have the bigger things on a planet that's 50% the size of the Earth. So you're gonna have less gravity. It's gonna be easier to build stuff. You build superstructures, and then send them off somewhere else. Like, that sounds way better to me rather than trying to kickstart the heart of a dead planet. You know what I mean? That doesn't make any sense.
Absolutely.
So much potential. There's so much potential.
Yeah, there's hundreds of millions of tons of water in the southern ice cap on Mars. And, you've got water, you've got oxygen, you've got potential rocket fuel. It's 0.38 Earth gravity, so the delta V for escape velocity is like 4,000 meters per second, as opposed to 11,000 here. It just...
Right.
Yeah.
Build a little rocket here and save money, get to Mars where the big rocket can take off for a fraction of the price. And then you go to Alpha Centauri. It's not... I would say it's not rocket science, but it's a little bit rocket science. I don't know, man.
Yeah, a touch. Do you have any teasers that you want to talk about that you've got planned coming up for the convention?
Gosh, no, we're planning a couple of cool things. I know you and I discussed at least one panel and at least one stage show. And you also were very generous to offer me booth space. I have no idea what I'm going to do with a booth. I'll have a dance party in there because I don't sell anything. I don't have any banners or whatever. So I'm just going to put up karaoke machine and we'll all just gather in there and do the monkey together. But as far as like the stage show and everything is concerned, no, I'm keeping that one close to my chest because I have some cool stuff planned.
Okay.
And I want to surprise a few people with it.
Fair enough. And then the last one is the obligatory one. Obviously, people should come see you at Nococon, but until then, where can they find you?
You can find me at valkailabs.com, which links to my TikTok, the YouTubes, the Instagram, all the other places where I would hopefully you will come looking for me. If you ever want to find me, you can just search my name or the words Renegade Science Teacher up in that googly machine, and I'll be right there waiting for you to teach you some cool stuff.
All right. Well, thank you so very much, Forrest.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Thank you all so much for watching. Please be sure to hit that subscribe button because we have many more interviews with other guests and featured creators coming up in the weeks ahead as we count down to Nococon 2023. Tickets are now on sale, so be sure to pick yours up early, and we will see you this June.